These garlics were planted late autumn, early winter last year. So they had just over a year's worth of the green manure out, which I dug in. Not everything has been dug in on this plot. Over there, I hoed off the green manure this spring, and used the remainder, trimmings as a mulch. But anyway, I dug in the green manure as an experiment, see which ones are the best. So far, this had not French beans, field beans, type of broad bean, as green manure last year, and I think they're looking really good. They've got nice thick stems, looking fresh and green. So that bodes well for the system so far. This bed, it had the green manure was quite scrappy in the middle, so I dug it up and put some peas in. I had some peas in the greenhouse, plus I've sown direct, so there should be some sort of succession sowing going on. I put a net over the top to stop pigeons, because they will be down here in a shot. The moment you leave the plot, they'll eat all your peas. This part of the plot I'm going to be digging. It's infested with infested with raspberry canes, which in turn are infested with bindweed, which is why they can't stay there. You'd think that'd be a nice freebie, but before you know it, that bindweed will be everywhere. So that's coming up, and then I'm going to settle it out in a bed and then put an inch to 2 inches of compost on top, and do a sort of hybrid, a sort of Mel Bartholomew square foot gardening sort of thing, stroke Charles Dowding sort of thing. So we'll see how we get on. I'll film it as I do it. That is that's bindweed. You've got to get all of that up, even a tiny piece. That big will turn into a new plant, strangling all your weeds, strangling all your food plants. That is what's it called? Well, blackroot or mare's tail, and that's the worst weed that you can get, and I'm infested with it. Just keep digging or cover up for a couple of years. Well, I've dug about a square metre, a bit more than that, and pulled out all the bindweed and mare's tail, and here's a pretty pile of it. It's all gonna come up. If you leave it in there, before you know it, you'll be in a forest of bindweed. What I'm going to do next is rake it over, and then put an inch, 2 inches of compost like I did over here. Well, there it is. The bed's set up. Now we're going to plant some peas and spring onions. See you later, mate. Ta-da, bye. Well, there you have it. I'll cover them over. I shall and water them in. I've used quite a lot of peas. That seems to be the latest fashion now. I'm told that if you've got loads and loads of peas in there, you'll get loads and loads of peas back. We'll see what happens. We'll compare it with what I normally get. Anyway, I'm running out of SIM card space, so I'll leave you to it. That's the end of my video. Unfortunately, the baby fox cubs aren't appearing yet. I expect they're still asleep under a certain gentleman's allotment plot over there. So I shall see you all later. I've removed all the bubble wrap and got rid of the staging, ready to plant. But I need to get the supports in, so I bought some new kit, and I'll show you how to put it up now. There's some. You'll find this in your garden centre. There's some kit for, as you can see, there's be hanging strings and wires and stuff off it. This is what it looks like if you want to buy it. Now the way this works is we've got these screws, bolts, and they're designed to fit into a groove. So you go in vertically and then twist it like that. Very tight to get in. I had to force it in. That one there, you put it into the groove, and once it's in you turn it. But I had to force that one in using a screwdriver. So what you and then you put the bracket on top of it, and then the nut on that, and that'll tie it into place. But yeah, like I say, I had to press in hard with a screwdriver. But it does go in, which is very, very tight. It won't go in. It wouldn't go in with me just pushing it. So because I'm going to have wires going along, a wire going along, I'm going to put it in this way. Don't worry if it falls over all over the place. We're going to tighten it up with a nut. So there you go. You want to tighten that up with a spanner. So we're going to put wires through there. So I'll put one in. Maybe actually I need to adjust it slightly. See, that's the advantage of doing it hand tight at first. It's the right position. About an inch and a bit. And tighten it up. So this is what I've done. I've set up the these little brackets. You could theoretically put some sort of set up some sort of shelf with these, but you'd have to do some sort of Heath Robinson style thing. But I think it would, you know, in theory, I wouldn't put too much weight on it either. If you look here, I've right, so what I've done is got a wire going through, and it's tightened. You can play a tune on that. I think that's C, isn't it? Anyway, I've used the barrel tightener. I think they're called a barrel tightener. It's what you know, in Victorian kitchen gardens, tighten up the wires between posts. Anyway, so that's so slacken that right off. So these screws are right back. Do the wire quite fairly tight, you know, hand tight. Tie it up and then screw it. Tighten these those pins into each other, which will tighten it up and make it into a piano wire. What I'm going to do now is hang string off it, twine, which will go down to the tomatoes, and the tomatoes can, you know, wind the tomatoes up it. I worry about what happens when we get above, you know, 4 feet tall later on in the year. Don't look at that. You could tell I wasn't a Boy Scout. Right. What you do is you bury the string into the ground, because I've got very deep compost here. It's easy. Press it down as if you're planting something. Well, I know, look at the size of that in the middle of April. That was sown indoors, I think about like the first week of January, under some IKEA grow lights, which you get for 25 quid in IKEA. They're LEDs, so they cost virtually nothing to run. And then I brought them out here late March, and they're still alive. So it's southwest England in a greenhouse. Yeah, there you have it. So I'm going to fall over into the beds if I'm not careful, but this is as far back as I can get. There's the wire. There's the brackets. I used the nut and bolt already that's holding this brace to put that little what do you call it, bracket in. Then put the wire through the hole, wound it up through each of the holes, and then the tightener there, and that's it. I think we're about to have a storm. It's starting to get dark in here, and it's not that late. I think it's about 5:30, something like that. And, it's dark clouds. Yeah, there was a little spatter of rain earlier on. I shall have a quick update in the garden while we're here. I know it looks a bit dark, but I'll show you a couple of things that are quite cool. Let's have a look at the piggies. Again, middle of April. It's these fleece things you get from Wilco's, like a fleece tube, and those peas looking great. I think that's rosacrone from realseeds.co.uk. They interest me because I've got salmon coloured flower, but they're your ordinary garden pea to eat. There's the last of the 9-star broccoli. It's still big broccolis. This has been a real star. So that'll be the third cutting once I've eaten those. Then we've got Dorbenton panache, which is perennial kale. Never flowers, and neither does this, which is your Tortentine. Well, it has flowered in once in sort of 8 years. As you can see, it's turned into a tree kale. Went up to about that high, and I cut it down there and let a couple of side shoots go up, and that's what do you call it, fig. Rouge de Bordeaux. It's supposed to be hardy, but it doesn't really like it. It didn't do very well last year. We've got coriander, loads of coriander, bit of garlic behind it, and more coriander. And then I've been eating Mizuna all. I mean, I've got a couple of Mizunas left, but I've been eating them all winter, and now I'm replacing them with more spring-like things like lettuce and so on. I put some what else did I put in? I put in, yeah, the leeks are gonna bolt at the end of this month, so I'm gonna have to see, that one's getting quite big. Now you can eat them once they start to bolt. It's not woody. It's like a white tube that goes through a bit like a dowling rod, but it's really, it's totally edible, and it's not hard. I've got that, what do you call it? Damn it. Well, it's sweet Sicily, and that's Vietnamese coriander, Mizuna, peas, red mustard. Anyway, starting to rain. Oh, got me beautiful cherry blossom. It's starting to rain again, so I shall leave it to it. See you later.